Hello, this is the Jordan coach of the Old Town Orangaroos, bringing you content when you least expect it. It is the playoffs of the VBL Season 14, Regulation H, etc. I'm against Heaven, the coach of the Pre-Marine Marine Conservatory, a veteran coach, a very talented player with a really good team, but I have a championship caliber team, which I really believe in. So let's get into my team builder. The match will be streamed, so you'll see that in the description. This is my team. It's the Arch Nemesis team because it has Arch Aladon, one of the strongest mons in the format, and a lot of mons that have like a villainous vibe. Regardless of that, I view every season as a story in which I am the up and down but ultimately rootable protagonist. For the third straight time, I had to fight a win-in to make playoffs, and this time I did win, so we're in, but it wasn't pretty. I did feel that this team has a ton of promise and is potentially a championship caliber team, so I'm taking a break from trying to be a musician, more on that later, to do a team builder for y'all. What's been working for this team? Arch Aladon. Nobody is surprised to hear that Arch Aladon has been coming to a lot of games and getting a lot of KOs, but also this Trick Room mode. Slowking Galar and Vikavolt have been doing a lot of work for this team. Kind of predicted in power rankings. I feel like people are going to think this is a Rain team, and then I'm going to like bring Trick Room a lot of the time. But yeah, Trick Room is a very strong mode for this team. So I'm going to be leaning on that, but also the threat of that to win with a surprise threat this week. It is the Beartic. Two of these 4 games for Beartic were actually the exhibition match at the beginning of the season, which I count, but I understand if you don't count. Beartic has not done a lot for me this season, but I think it's so cool, and I think it has so much trickery, so I think I can make Beartic the win condition this time, because it's threatening to do the Chilly Reception Hail setup or be a Trick Room sweeper, but this time it is a Rain sweeper. With double speed, it is just barely faster than Weavile, and so normally it's easier to make a mon like Basket Legion work. It clicks Wave Crash and things die, but Heaven's team, while it's very versatile, got a lot of different options, its main weaknesses are Ice and Rock. Enter Beartic. Ice Stab, Rock Coverage. This is Beartic's time. Ice Crash is echoing all of their 5 ice weaknesses. Not Rhydon, we'll get to that. But Rock Slide is 2-hit KOing a surprising amount of their team, so if I get a Sword Stance, that becomes 1-hit KOs. How do I make sure that happens, though? A screen from Grimmsnarl is super important. I count it. Beartic is not the best, most bulky mon, but it can live one of anything with a screen. That's not too much to ask. So you set a screen, you set the Sword Stance, and turn 2, flip in Polytoad for double speed, and you win. You overwhelm Heaven's team. I don't care if they're trying to set Tailwind, I'll swap in Polytoad turn 1 and go for the Icicle Crash to destroy Salamence straight out. If they're trying to set up Trick Room, I have an answer for that too. I'll show you that, but the Terra Blast Grass just for Primarina, I can destroy that from turn 1. I feel like Beartic kind of has it all. It does rely on the Grimmsnarl by its side, setting a screen. I don't usually set both screens with Grimmsnarl. I pick the favorite screen and then run like a mischief move, or just devote this guy to attacks. Grimmsnarl is very, very good though, and Heaven's team doesn't have a clear slant to it. Both Reflect and Light Screen are good in different situations, and I might need those turns 6 through 8 to chunk through with Polytoad and Arch Aladon, so the Light Clay is good too. Spirit Break is good damage, and it also reduces this Primarina's offensive output. That is the scariest mon on their team. And the Assurance is my Bronzong setup. You click the Rock Slide, you get some chip, you get flinch odds, and the Assurance becomes double power. Rock Slide chip plus 96% minimum is going to delete this Bronzong, so they can't set Trick Room against me unless Rock Slide misses, unless etc. Various things can happen in this game. But I think this is a very, very good setup because it is proactively doing something, even if they click Protect, which I notice my opponent likes to click Protect, I get that screen up. Then you flip in Polytoad, and you've got the double speed Beartic, you've got the Scarfed Polytoad, which is Scarfed to be 1 point faster than their fastest mon, just like Beartic. So I'm overwhelming power by turn 2. I really should be able to win unless they do something that I'm not considering, and I think I'm flowcharting for most of these things. Polytoad is kind of just a blob of mediocre stats. It's sturdy, it doesn't get O-code by a lot, but you gotta be tricksy with it if you want to make it impactful in the game. Scarf helps, Muddy Water in Rain helps, Ice Beam on that Salamence, Icy Wind as Scarf speed control, so Arch Aladon goes first, is also useful in some situations, and Weather Ball, if they disrupt my weather, then I'll blast Fireballs. That'll be fine too. Not finally, we gotta have the team to go. Rhydon. I mocked with Jace because I'm high-efforting this, because I really think this team can make a run for it. I was easily able to beat most things that they brought, except for this Rhydon. This is not reasonable stats to carry an Eviolite. It lived 2 stab super effective Beartic Icicle Crashes. That's max attack. I don't know what the hell to do about this thing, and it can Terra Water and effectively only have 1 weakness of Lightning Rod. You heard it here first. That's what Heaven's going to do. I can see it from a mile away. But I have something specifically for those circumstances. I need a lot of special power to be able to beat this Rhydon, and so I've got the Vikavolt. It might be coming without Trick Room, because I just need this guy to beat the Rhydon. With Terra Steel and Levitate, it resists both rock and ground, which is a very difficult thing to do, so good against Rhydon. Has Thunderbolt to beat this Primarina, but even if they have the Lightning Rod out, I've got the Energy Ball to threaten an immediate one-shot onto Rhydon. Even if it's Terra Water and it's no longer 4x weak, it's a 2-shot. This is my answer to getting through Rhydon, through Primarina, and the Trick Room mode. It's very, very important to the plan. Finally, Glowking. Glowking is so good. I never thought I would be picking Glowking, because normally my thought is like, oh, why do I need a poison type? There's just another ground weakness. It's frequently a problem where teams are weak to ground. But this is a surprisingly good typing. It's just weak to ground, ghost, and dark. Poison is very good defensive typing. This mon's stats are good enough that it takes 2 earth powers. You know, its ground weakness is really not the biggest deal. This is a blob of very good stats. They're just across the board better than Politoads. And we've got all 3 attacks. Sludge Bomb for Primarina, Hydro Pump for Rhydon, Fire Blast for Bronzong, because these are the 3 biggest threats. So Slowking is here to fight against their Trick Room if they're going with Trick Room, which I predict, or if they don't have their full Trick Room option, then I can win with Trick Room. I can set it and then win with Vikavolt as my Trick Room sweeper. So this mon is very, very reliable, except when it misses. I've got, I think, a very good plan, but like it relies upon 85% accurate moves hitting and 90% accurate moves hitting. Those are the risks you got to take in this game. But moving on to our final mon, our Chaladon is nuts. It has everything going for it. It was so good that I changed my draft plan to take it round 1, and I didn't look back, and I'm not regretting it. This mon has every stat except for special defense. You give it Assault Vest, and it's got literally every stat going for it. It can become a Draco Meteor and immediately nuke something. It is a very strong 1 attack, but then it can turn into a stamina body press mon. It can do utility, Snarl, Dragon Tail. So this is my other way of stopping Trick Room. Dark Pulse is specifically there to 2-hit KO that Bronzong. Flash Cannon is good because special power into Rhydon. It should be a 2-hit KO. Or if it becomes a water type, I Flash Cannon into Draco and get rid of it anyway. I think I got the whole plan. I think this team can do anything. Hopefully the stars align and we make a playoff run. I did not expect to be here with y'all still in Season 14, but I love it. I love the community. If you like my moderate YouTube presence and you like VGC Draft League, leave a like. But if you also like funk, soul, pop music, that's what I'm trying to do right now. I just released my first song as I'm trying to figure out the mixing for all the rest of them. But if you would look at the description for my even smaller Jordan Lewis, the musician, I'm doxing myself, but oh well. You guys, I appreciate you guys. If you would check it out and leave a like there, that would be awesome.